Good morning.
Good morning, Mary. How are you?
Okay, how are you?
Very well, thank you.
Good. Good morning, James. Good morning, Carol.
Good morning.
Welcome, James.
Thank you very much.
I'll raise my chair here. Hold on.
Mary, do you have everything you need for your meeting this morning?
Yeah, I just need somebody to take minutes, but other than that, I think I'm set. Let's see, 4 attendees. Can you promote Verna and any others that come on? Thank you. Hi, Carol.
Hi, how are you, Mary?
I'm good. How are you?
How was your trip? You're good?
Okay. Huh?
Thank you. Well,
Everything's good. Hi, Verna.
it's good to be back.
Yes, I hear you.
Good. Very good.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, I'll remain quiet, but I wanted to say hello.
Good. Glad you're on with us. Couple more people to promote. And Ebenezer, what do we do? I have Shirley Saxton who's calling in on her phone. She's the presenter. Do we need to
She
upgrade her?
doesn't have the link.
Huh? She has the link, but she had to call in on her phone. She's on the attendee list. Her phone.
Okay, I can.
I guess she doesn't. I don't know.
I cannot promote her.
Yeah.
She will have to follow the instructions. I think it's *6 in order for her to talk.
Okay. Hold on a second. Let me see. Can't talk now. I'm in a meeting. Okay. It's not urgent. What? Okay.
Okay, I can allow her to talk when it's necessary. I see that I have that option here. Let me do a test and say hello.
Okay.
You say hello.
Hi, Shirley.
Good morning.
Good morning. Okay, just wanted to
How
make
are
sure.
you?
I'm okay, welcome. I just wanted to make sure
Yeah.
that you were able to speak.
Okay,
Yeah,
So,
I'm
okay,
sorry.
so,
Yeah, okay.
okay,
I will mute myself and you can I will do *6 when you say so to begin speaking, okay? Thank
Okay.
you.
very good.
sure. Okay.
Okay. Good morning, Richard. You're muted.
Good morning.
Good morning. How are
Morning,
you?
everybody.
Huh?
It's Maria.
Yes, I know. Hi,
How you
Maria.
doing?
I was getting to you. How you doing? Good
No,
morning,
no,
Ashton.
I'm not ready to go back to meetings no more.
You're not ready to what?
I'm not ready to go to meetings yet.
Oh,
I'm on Maria's team.
okay. Well, at least we got a reprieve. For how long, I don't know. Good morning, Ashton.
Good morning, Mary. How are you?
I'm good, I'm good. We're gonna be just a little bit longer, a couple more minutes, give other people some time to get in. Richard, I was particularly concerned about how you're doing because if you could do the usual for me. Yosef will be joining us, but he's driving. So you can't take minutes and drive. Can you?
And that's why you're particularly concerned about me. Okay. Sure.
Reason, darling. Not the only reason, and you know that.
Oh, there aren't enough smiles here.
Got a new person to promote, Ebenezer, please. Thank you. Good morning, Catherine.
Morning, good morning. How are you? Thank you.
Okay, we'll be getting started in a couple of minutes, okay?
Perfect, thank you.
Good morning, Shirley.
Good morning again, Mary. How are you?
Yeah.
Good morning.
For the purposes of minutes, may I ask who's calling in from a phone number starting with 646?
That's our presenter, Shirley Saxton from Social Security.
Okay. And the
Thank
other
you.
request will be to identify who are board and committee members.
Uh-huh, I will. I'm hoping that our we have one new committee member that's on board right now, but we have a second new committee member who should be joining us. It's kind of hoping that he would get on before we started. So let me give it another minute. Richard, in terms of the attendance, I can do that part, okay? Because I usually try to, get them in.
Okay, I've got it pretty much all written down.
Yeah, okay. All right, I'm aware of everybody's time and I don't want to delay too much longer. So let's start with introductions. Ebenezer, could you introduce yourself, please?
Morning and welcome back. My name is Ebenezer Smith, District Manager of Community Board 12. It's a pleasure to be here assisting you in the new season that starts for the Aging Committee. As you know, the regulations for open meeting law extension, has been extended to the end of the month, and all the meetings in September will be via Zoom until further notice. So welcome, and my pleasure to be here.
I forgot to say that we are calling this meeting to order at 10:37 a.m. My name, there's a couple more people that have been added to the attendee list. If you could promote them, Ebenezer. My name is Mary Anderson. I am the chair of this committee and, have been for a while now, I guess. And I want to welcome everybody. I hope that everybody had a good summer. And here we are, ready to return to work. So I welcome you all. I would like to just start by introducing James Bosley. Is it Bosley or Bosley? You're muted, James.
Bosley.
Bosley. James Bosley, who is a new board member and has been assigned to our committee, and we very much welcome him.
Thank you.
Okay. Richard, introduce yourself, please.
I'm Richard Allman. I'm a board member and a committee member.
Maria?
Hi, good morning, Maria Luna, a member of this board for many, I probably believe I'm the senior member of the Community Board 12 with Jim Berlin. Also, this is a very important committee for me because I started this committee many years ago in the 1990s. But anyway, welcome the new member, Mr. Stewart. And I hope that we have a productive meeting, although I'm not ready to go back to meetings yet, Ebenezer, I'm sorry. But I wish I could get a break a little bit until October or something like that. But anyway, happy to see all of you. Thank you.
Carol? Carol, you're muted. Nope. Carol has a technology issue. Come on, Carol, you can do it. Ebenezer Abdori to get upgraded, please. Carol, you're able to unmute yourself, darling? Or we'll move on and come back to you. She's waving. Carol Weeks is a public member of this committee. Verna.
Good morning, everyone. Verna Arthur with the New York City Department for the Aging. I am the Manhattan Government Affairs Officer. Just so you know that this meeting clashes with community board meetings. So from time to time, I have to alternate this meeting. Okay, thank you.
Okay, we'll give you that permission. Dory.
Morning.
Good morning. Can you introduce yourself, please?
Of course, Dory Garcia, Interim Executive Director at ARC 16 for Washington.
And a public member.
And board.
On this.
And I'm also the treasurer of WICOA.
Right. Okay, let me go back. Catherine.
Trying to unmute myself here. We should know that by now. All right, I'm going crazy here. Good morning, everyone. Nice to see everyone. Some familiar faces here. Catherine Martinez, President and CEO of Neighborhood Shop. We serve older adults as well, and we're also looking to expand in Manhattan. And so I'm excited. I'm excited to be part of this group. I'm also the treasurer at the Bricker, which is sort of like your sister agency in the Bronx, which is the Bronx Regional Interagency Council that I serve with James O'Neill. So thank you for allowing me to be here. And it's great to see everyone.
Hi, Catherine.
Great to have you, Catherine. Lady,
Oh,
Unmuted. Unmuted.
I did. It says mute me. Now I do.
Carol is trying to mute herself. Okay, so good morning, everyone. It's nice to see you. Lady from
Okay, I think that did it.
Yeah. Okay.
Good morning, Mr. Good morning, good man. You're late for breakfast.
I've got somebody that's, Carol.
Yes.
Do you want to introduce
back in
yourself
action.
officially?
Good morning. I'm back in action. I'm Carol Weeks, Dykeman Senior Center. And Mary told you about my status.
Public member on this committee. Thank
Yes.
you. Diane.
Good morning, everyone. Great to see you again. It's Diane Ashley, and I'm representing Isabella and MJHS Health System.
Thank you for joining us.
Pleasure.
Ashton.
Good morning, everybody. I'm commuting, so pardon my being outside. Thank you so much for having me. I'm Ashton Stewart, he, him pronouns, and I'm the veteran liaison with MJHS. And thank you so much for putting that proclamation together. It was greeted with much enthusiasm. So we were really happy to see that. So thank you.
All right. Marie.
Good morning. Good morning, everyone, and thank you for having me in this meeting. I'm the nurse practitioner responsible for the geriatric homebound population in Washington Heights and Inwood. I visit them at home. I provide a comprehensive quality of care to them. Yes.
Thank you.
Happy to be here.
Ebenezer, with Cheryl Miller, could you promote her, please? Thank you. Cheryl.
Hi.
Good morning. Welcome.
Good morning. How are you, Mary?
I'm okay. Can you introduce yourself, please?
Sure. My name is Cheryl Miller, and I'm a Washington Heights community member. Been living here for about almost 16 years now.
Great to have you.
Great to be here. And I'm a senior. I'm 68 years old.
There you go. All right. So moving right along, did I miss anybody? I don't think so, right? Okay. So again, James, welcome to the board and welcome to this committee. We have a presentation this morning on Social Security updates by Shirley Saxton. So Shirley, you're on.
You need to mute yourself. You were on.
Yep.
Good morning.
There you go.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, so good morning, everyone. My name is Shirley Saxton. I am a public affairs specialist for the Social Security Administration. I've worked for Social Security for more than 40 years. My area of responsibility for community engagement and outreach is Manhattan and Staten Island. It's been a while since I've had the opportunity to speak with you, so I'm very happy to reconnect with those of you I've met maybe two years ago, and more than happy to welcome the new members. I want to backpedal to give you some updates, some reminder items, and let you know what's happening with Social Security right now. So I don't have to tell you that we closed our offices in March of 2020, but effective April 8th of this year, we resumed offering more in-person appointments, and we have resumed in-person services for people without an appointment. Customers who walk in without an appointment may encounter longer delays, and we are still requiring that they wear a mask. The best way to do business with us is, if you can, utilize our online services, or you can call our 1-800 number, 1-800-772-1213. Representatives are available from 8 a.m. to 7 p.m. Monday through Friday. After 7 p.m., we provide automated services. Now, if you are someone who speaks Spanish, when you call the 1-800 number, if you press the number 7, a representative that speaks Spanish will come on the line. If you speak another language, if you press the number 7 and wait for a representative to come on the line, you can tell that representative the language that you speak, and they will set up an interpreter to contact you to assist you through whatever your situation may or may not be. Before I go any further, please let me thank Mary Anderson for reaching out to me and inviting me to come and speak with you today. My apologies for not mentioning that earlier. Now, as a reminder item, I heard a few of you say that you're seniors. So I want to remind you that scams are still very prevalent in our community, and it is important to be alert. Now, the scam that is most recurring in the communities are happening for people calling to say that they are government employees. The person that calls may say that they are from Social Security, which is unfortunately the most frequent, but we now have people calling to say that they are from the IRS. When that person calls you, if they threaten you and demand immediate payment, that person is not from Social Security, and that person is not from the Internal Revenue Service. If a person calls you and threatens to suspend your Social Security number, that person is not from Social Security, and that person is not from IRS. If someone calls you and tells you that they can promise that they can increase your benefits in exchange for money, that person is not from Social Security, and that person is not from IRS. A person will call you and say that you owe money. They will threaten you with arrest. They will tell you that if you owe them money and you send them a prepaid debit card, a wire transfer, internet currency, cash through the mail, or a gift card, they will be able to assist you immediately. None of that is true. If you owe money to the Social Security Administration, if you owe money to IRS, we are required by law to send you written notification. And in that notification, we will provide you with payment options. And we will also tell you that you have a right to appeal the decision in terms of whatever it is we make, and you disagree with that. The only way that we accept payment for an overpayment or duplicate check is electronically through pay.gov, or you can submit a check or money order payable to either the Social Security Administration or, in this instance, IRS. But we do not ask for cash. We do not threaten people. There's no such thing as a suspension of your Social Security number. So if someone is calling you and they're telling you that they're from any of those agencies, please just hang up. If you want to, there's a database, oig.ssa.gov. If you care to go online and report the scam, you can do that through that website. Now, What's new? Well, we celebrated 87 years of service. I heard someone say that they were a senior, and I believe that that person was in their 60s. If you're in your 60s, Social Security celebrated 87 years of service in August of this year. One of the other things that I want to mention is the Trustees Report, which is something that we publish annually, has been issued, and the report says that Social Security trust funds are solvent through the year 2035. In March of this year, we added a new option for those of you who are My Social Security account holders. And that option is one that helps you protect your finances, because through your My Social Security account, you have the ability to select what we call an advanced designation of representative payee. What that means is, if when you sign up for My Social Security or when you sign up for your benefits, if you have a friend or relative that you want to act as your representative payee, in the event that something should happen to you if the need arrives, you have the opportunity to submit that information at that time. Now, the advanced designation is not necessarily an appointment, but what it does is it will allow us to have on record people that we can contact in the event that something happens to you and you're not able to manage your funds. It is not mandatory. It is an option. It is voluntary, and it is something that can be revoked. It is something that can be changed at any time. Okay, as you know, or as I hope you know, Social Security does not acknowledge power of attorney. All right, if someone calls on your behalf to Social Security and they say that they have a power of attorney, we will not, by law, be allowed to disclose any personal information about you. We would only do it if we have the written consent of the individual, or if we have that person on record as a representative payee. So one of the newer things that we have done as far as outreach is concerned is, if you need an original or replacement Social Security card, we have a new and a faster way for you to start the process. If you have access to a computer or smartphone, you can visit us online and go to our webpage, www.ssa.gov/number. If you go online, we'll ask a series of questions that determine whether you can complete the application process online. We'll ask a series of questions to determine whether or not you can start the application online, and then bring any required documents to your local Social Security office to complete the application. Many of our offices are now offering virtual appointments to complete applications for replacement cards. So if you're someone who's lost your card and you need a replacement, you can actually make an appointment to your local Social Security office, and they can set up a virtual appointment. They will interview you virtually to get the information that is needed in order to process the application for a replacement card. Once you complete the application, whether it's done online or if you're required to come in office, we will mail the card after we process the application. None of the offices have cards to issue in their location. Everything has to go through the system. If you visit us online, I'm sorry? If you visit us online, we will tell you the types of documents that you need. And if you decide that you want to do this through the online portal, we will give you a control number. Once you've completed the application, all you have to do is take that control number with you or have it available if you schedule a virtual appointment. If you schedule an appointment where you have to bring the information in person, then you need to bring the online control number along with you and the documents that we've asked to see when you visit the office. When you get it to your office, you'll check in, you'll meet with an employee, and they will complete the process, and you can receive the card within 7 to 10 business days. All right, so the last thing that I want to discuss with you, which is probably the most important thing that I'm going to mention this morning, is the annual cost of living increase. If you've read any newspaper, you will have seen an article where there is speculation about the amount of money that is going to be granted to Social Security recipients in 2022. Generally, we make that announcement in October, and it's the cost of living increase. Now, the cost of living increase is something that was provided in 1972 by the Congress. Prior to 1972, in order for anybody who was receiving Social Security benefits, the Congress had to get together and vote as to whether or not they were going to allow a cost of living increase. The reason this is important is because, as I said, there are a lot of articles that are in the paper today, yesterday, last week, telling people that they can look for like an enormous amount of money, and that's not necessarily true. At the time that we're having this conversation, I don't know what the cost of living increase is going to be. I know that we're going to make an announcement in the middle of next month, but what I wanted to share with you is how we go about making that announcement. The COLA is something that is announced by the Department of Labor. It is not Social Security. And the way that it is determined is that the Department of Labor looks at the CPI index for the third quarter of the year prior to the year that we're in. In other words, they'll look at the third quarter for July of 2021, August of 2021, and September of 2021, and they will compare those 3 months to the third quarters of July 2022, August 2022, and September of 2022. Once they make the dollar comparison, they will subtract one from the other, and that will give you what the cost of living increase is going to be for this year. Last year, when we made the announcement, it was 5.9%. As I said, I don't know what the amount is going to be, but I do know that we'll make the announcement in the middle of next month. For those of you who are account holders of My Social Security, if you go into your My Social Security account and you take a look at the message center board in the My Social Security account, you will see that you'll have the information earlier than the announcement that we will make mid-October. And we also can text and email those messages to you if you are a My Social Security account holder and you elect to receive text messages from us as opposed to receiving a mail-in notice. That's about all I wanted to say. If there are any questions or any concerns or any comments, I'm happy to listen and respond. Thank you very much for your time.
Thank you so much, Shirley. Wow, what a wealth of information. Oh my goodness gracious. Ashton, you have a hand up, and I'm wondering if that's current. You have a question? Could be a mistake. All right. Anybody else? Richard.
I have two questions. Ms. Saxton, you identified some calls that may be made by Social Security to recipients to set up appointments. And at the same time, there's a lot of warning about illegitimate calls, people representing calls from Social Security. How do you tell the difference between a legitimate and a not legitimate call?
Okay, well, one of the ways that you can tell is that the person who's calling from Social Security will identify themselves. They will give you their name and they will give you their title. And if you ask for it, they will give you their telephone number. A person calling from Social Security to schedule an appointment is not going to threaten you. That person is going to call you related to any business that you might have with Social Security. We don't arbitrarily pick up the phone to call people. If we're calling you, it may be because you contacted our 1-800 number and requested an appointment, and we would call you to schedule that appointment. We will identify ourselves, again, our title, telephone number. If you are concerned as to whether or not that person is legitimate, you can always hang up and call our toll-free number, and you can ask them whether or not Shirley Saxton, who identified herself as a public affairs specialist, works for Social Security, and they can do that for you. Again, we don't threaten you. We may ask you for some information, but generally speaking, if I'm calling from Social Security, I'm not going to have to ask you for your Social Security number. I'll have that information. I won't need to ask you for your date of birth because I'll know that if I'm a representative from Social Security. I won't need to ask you your mother's maiden name or your father's name or your place of birth. I won't need to ask you any of that information because if I am calling from Social Security, I have that information at my fingertips, and I would not use that to verify whether or not you are who you say you are. Remember, when we're calling people, or if someone calls us, we're going to ask that person to verify their identity to our satisfaction before we will relay any information. And it's the same thing when we're calling you. We will verify who we are, the nature of the call, and you will know whether or not you contacted us recently for any business concerning yourself, or if you may be the payee for someone else, if you contacted us on behalf of someone else. But when the person asks for information or asks for money or asks for gift cards or any currency for a favor, that is not the nature of Social Security. I hope I've answered your question.
Yeah, that's a perfect answer. Mary, may I ask a second question?
Sorry?
May I ask a second question?
Yes.
Ms. Saxton, pre-pandemic, you did fantastic presentations like this in person at senior centers. We had one at the A. Philip Randolph Senior Center, and I'm wondering if there is a timeline for starting presentations like that again.
I can only answer what we're currently doing, and that is at the current time. The reason that I'm on the phone with you and not in person is because we still have not received the green light that we can go ahead to do any in-person presentations. I don't know when they're going to make a decision about how we're going to move forward next month, but for right now, we still are doing virtual presentations.
Okay, much appreciated and looking forward to both.
Thank you. I mean, you can always contact me if I can set up something to do it. If I don't know if you have MS Teams or something, like we have a way of doing presentations through MS Teams so that you'd be able to see me and I'd be able to share documents and things with you. Unfortunately, this morning, the alternate system that I had isn't working, so I'm forced to call in. But if you want to try contacting me after this, perhaps we can set up something to do it through Microsoft Teams if that's available for you. Thank you for
Sure.
both questions.
Sure, thank you.
Are there any other board members that have a question? Not board member, committee members. Sorry.
Mhm.
Seeing none, Cheryl, you have a question, yes?
Yeah, actually, it's not really a question. It's more of a comment.
Okay.
So I understand that this is Social Security. You're talking about scams with Social Security. However, there are many other scams going on to get people's information. I myself, several times just recently, people were calling me and saying they were from Humana. I don't have Humana. Wanting to know, to just go over my medications that I'm taking. And I'm like, wait a minute, I don't have Humana. This has got to be a scam. Of course, I didn't call them back. They called, and what I tried to do was block the number. But what I do, a lot of times, if I see something showing up on my screen that says scam likely, or I see a call coming in from Vietnam, obviously that's a scam. So in saying that, a lot of seniors, unfortunately, they fall into the trap. And people know that. That's why the scams are so many different kinds of scams to get people's information, especially seniors. So, I just think that, that seniors should just be educated as far as, steps that they could take to just, prevent themselves being a victim of a scam, whether it's Social Security or like an insurance company, in my case, or somebody trying to sell you car insurance or something about your car insurance when you don't have a car or car insurance. So I think it's just a matter of really just educating seniors because they know seniors are very vulnerable and seniors are very likely to fall into these scams. That's all I wanted to say.
Okay, I couldn't
Thank
agree
you.
with you more. I couldn't agree with you more. What I would say is the Federal Trade Commission has a wealth of information about identity theft and scams. I would suggest that perhaps you might want to reach out to someone from the Federal Trade Commission and see whether or not they are available to do a virtual presentation for you. Yes, you're absolutely right. Scams come in all shapes and forms. Fortunately, unfortunately, the only ones I'm empowered to speak about when I'm working is what happens from the lens of Social Security. And that's because, as I said before, that those are prevalent. And as you say, seniors are easy prey. And if someone threatens your livelihood, you're apt to respond. But my caution to you is to think before. It's important to be alert when you answer your phone. It's important to check your phone when it's ringing, because on a lot of instances, as you just said, it will register that it's likely as a scam. But the other
I don't
thing is
answer,
almost
and I don't
common
answer,
sense.
and I don't answer when I
Yeah,
see that. I don't answer at all.
That's another thing. That's another idea. And the other thing is exactly that. If it sounds too good to be true, if you happen to answer the phone, it probably is. So the best thing you can do for yourself is, as this young lady said, either don't answer the phone or say to the person, I want to verify that you are who you say you are. Anyone who calls from Social Security, from Con Edison, from National Grid, they will happily give you an ID number because their database is available that you can check the authenticity of who this person is. So as this young lady said, yeah, it's a good idea to be aware of the different types of scams. Once again, I suggest if you can contact the Federal Trade Commission or just take a look at their website, because they have a lot of information in terms of scams and identity theft. And it's just a lot happening and it's a lot to absorb. But the most important thing you can do is just be alert. Thank you.
Oh, yeah, I am. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you, Cheryl.
Thank you.
Any other questions for Shirley? Going once.
Thank you,
going
Shirley.
twice.
Very helpful.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, Shirley. We appreciate your information, and certainly it will be used widely. I'm going to be contacting you after this meeting to set up another potential presentation for us. Not for the aging
Okay,
committee, but
that's
another
fine.
organization. Okay.
Yeah, that's fine. Bear in mind, Mary,
Yeah.
you can always share out my email address for people who have questions, or if you're encountering difficulty in reaching your local Social Security office, or if
Okay.
you have a dilemma, you can feel free to contact Mary, and she will share it out with me. We have public affairs specialists in Manhattan, in Staten Island, in the Bronx, and further upstate, in Brooklyn and Queens. I don't cover all the boroughs, but if it's an issue that I cannot resolve, I can certainly refer you to my counterpart in Brooklyn, and they, like me, work with the managers in the offices and will work with them to get your situation resolved. So again, feel free to use Mary as a conduit because she knows how to contact me. Thank you all very much for your time and listening to me. I'll stay on the line until 11:30, and then I'm off to do some other work. Thanks again.
All right. Thank you so much. All right. The next item I have on the agenda, actually, I just want to review the agenda for a minute. I have under E, announcements and review of requirements for attendance at meetings for committee members. So I'm actually going to do a little bit of that after we talk about the budget. I sent to the committee members a copy of the budget that we're working from for the capital and expense budget. This is important because we will have to be submitting it, I believe, sometime in October. Ebenezer, correct me if I'm wrong. For the entire board. So each committee has to submit their capital and expense budget. And then we piece it all together with the requests from the other committees to try to prioritize everything.
Yes, yes.
We always want to have our committee needs met, somewhere at the top of the list, and we've been pretty good with some of that over the last couple of years, so we want to continue that. For those of you that don't have the copy of the capital and expense list, I'm going to read them off quickly. Okay, so under the capital requests, I'm sorry, I'm fighting with my cat to stay off my list and off my computer. The first one we have is system-wide upgrade of CB12 area to improve access to connectivity and Wi-Fi. Even though, the seniors have finally gotten tablets and they're learning how to use them and all of that, the accessibility and connectivity is an issue still. The second item, renovate as necessary, specifically Star Senior Center and Rain Inwood Senior Center to comply with safety, ADA, and DFTA regulations.
Mary, a quick question. I
Yes.
see Yosef has joined the meeting. Is he picking up the minutes with this issue? I've got it through the previous issue.
I'm sorry, say that again?
I see that Yosef has joined the meeting. And I wondered if this is the moment to turn over the minute taking.
I'm not able to take minutes on my computer right now, unfortunately.
Okay.
I'm on my phone. Okay. Thank you, Richard.
Okay.
I'm doing it by pen, but okay.
Well, I mean,
That's fine. We'll keep going. I'll keep going.
Yeah. Thank you, Joseph. All right, so the third item is provide funding to construct affordable, accessible senior housing. Lord knows we need affordable, accessible senior housing. Under the expense items, the first one is funding for free Wi-Fi access for seniors in CB12. You know, they have the tablets, but may not be able to afford to pay for Wi-Fi access in their homes to be able to use it. The second one, increase access and outreach to healthy, culturally appropriate food for seniors with medical needs. The third item, increase the expansion in the program, expanded in-home services for elderly persons funding to provide affordable home care, including sliding scale reimbursement. And the next one, increase funding for senior transportation programs by restoring prior city council funding and expanding access and outreach. And the last one, increase other than personal services funding for replacement furnishings in senior centers as needed. Those are the items we have and that we've been working on. What I'm interested in hearing is if anybody feels that any of these items are no longer an issue, or we need to add items.
I was gonna ask a related question. The Wi-Fi item has been on the list for a number of years now, I believe. Do we know if there's two questions? One, has there been any real progress made? And secondly, I think we've raised in the past, sometimes this question goes beyond our committee, but just towards the community and just not just for seniors, but for others, and just having more internet access for New Yorkers. So does Ebenezer or anyone have any updates on those things?
Sorry, Joseph.
The question from Joseph was wondering if there has been any work done, you know, to address the issues of to address the Wi-Fi issues that we're asking for in our budget. If there's, you know, we've been asking for this for a while now.
So I need to review what the agency said for the last year budget. I don't have it in front of me right now. I'll look and get back to you.
Okay.
I think that this is Maria, I think that we should continue having it as a continuous request because it's not gonna end. Every day there is something new in technology. And I think that we need to put a, you know, foot down and make sure that everything is addressed as, as we know, things are really
I wasn't suggesting we remove it. I was just wondering.
No, I'm not
we've
saying
been
that.
asking and asking. Yeah. Okay. Great.
No, but I think we just need to just keep it as a continuous request.
Okay. I certainly agree with that. Anyone else want to chime in?
The other
on
thing
this?
about the housing,
sorry.
about I don't know how many projects have come to our community board of building. I see a lot of small buildings going up, like 4 in very small areas, places that used to be like a garage or an entrance to a back, building, building a very, really nice looking apartments, and they really not only not affordable, and I'm sure that they don't comply with any requirements for seniors, needs. So I don't know what we can do about that, but I think we need to add in our, request that any new building that comes up in our community should be, in compliance with everything that is needed by seniors or people with disabilities, etc.
Well,
you mean people should abide by the law?
Sorry?
Maria,
you're basically saying people need to abide by the laws? I don't.
Sure. I don't know. I don't know those small buildings that are coming up. I don't know if you have seen really a lot around here on my area, around the 160 some street. a small bit, buildings really, they really look nice and whatever, but I just don't know if the laws are being forced by the contractor when they building up those small apartment buildings. I mean, I'm not talking about the humongous, so.
Is there anyone on this committee that's a member of the housing committee as well?
Well, sometimes I attend the meet. I'm not a member, official member of that particular committee, but I just sometimes I listen to some of the things, but they really don't address that as they should.
My suggestion is that we can probably get that question answered by the housing committee chair, and I'll work on that. Okay. Richard, you have a question?
No.
A comment?
No.
You have a raised hand, so you can lower it then. Okay. Anyone else? Do committee members agree that we should leave these items as they are without any changes?
Well, so far, I agree with that.
Okay. Is there anyone that would suggest that we make any changes or eliminate any of these items? Seeing no hands, no comments, then this budget will stay as it is when we submit it. Thank you all. Okay, now, Ebenezer, I may need your help on this next item or not. I just want to briefly, if we do go, is the plan to go hybrid after this or fully in person?
Well, the requirement is.
Or do we know yet?
we are prepared to be hybrid for a while. It happens that the extension of the exempt of to have meeting in person and have the quorum has been extended. Once they said that need to be in person, we will have the meeting in person. The only people that must be in the room are the board members to have the quorum. Then the public can still participate in via Zoom, et cetera, et cetera. So, my vision is that board members be in the room, because remember, we need to still keep in the social distance. That's the most important, that the rooms we have, they're not that big to accommodate the board members and all the public that wants to come. Is to have the board members accommodated here and continue having the meeting in Zoom and YouTube, that people can participate from there. Mm-hmm. That is the plan that we have. And also we are mandated to have our meetings in YouTube for the longest, even before COVID. We were supposed to have our meeting in YouTube. That will be transmitting in YouTube. That's, you remember when Richard Lewis was our chair, we have that investment in the meeting room with that equipment to make sure that we have it in YouTube. Yes. This was before COVID. So there is a requirement to continue having the meetings in YouTube. And yes, we will continue with the Zoom, despite that we're gonna have meeting in person with board members. So this is the plan that the office has and we have here. Let's see what happens. We haven't been able to implement it because every time that we have the date, it's been extended.
Yeah. Now, my understanding too is that there are certain requirements for attendance at meetings by the committee members. And one of those is that if there are committee members who cannot be personally attending the meeting, be in person at the meeting, that we have to know ahead of time why. the person can't attend the meeting in person, and it has to go in the minutes. That was part of that whole thing that we went through.
But it has to be we have to be a little careful about that, because people may have emergencies that just come up, and that they have to
Right.
not early enough to notify the office of the of the committee. So
The
you have to be
chair,
a little
right.
careful about.
And besides notifying the office, it's important for the chair to know as well, because
Sure.
like I said, we have to get that reason in the minutes.
Right.
Yes.
When we do the attendance. Can't just say that so-and-so is absent. We have to say because or whatever,
Right.
medical
Okay.
emergency
I understand that.
or
I understand that.
whatever it might be. Yes, Carol.
Are we starting from like today for a new year for this in other words, the attendance that you're talking about starts today?
No, we'll start when hybrid meetings start. We're still
Oh,
going only on Zoom until at least the end of the month.
Right, but in
Then
other
we will wait till the governor issues whatever is going to be after that. We don't know yet.
okay, maybe I'm not making myself clear. In other words, let's say, heaven forbid, I were not here today. Would that count this year or wouldn't count yet? In other words, when, I'm not making this clear, I see that. When,
Well, the attendance is taken at every meeting, okay?
every meeting from now on or the past?
Say that again, I'm sorry.
Every meeting from now on or the past?
For what? Every meeting
not sure what
or the
you
past
mean,
for
Carol.
what?
In other words, let's say last year I didn't make a meeting. Will that count now? Or we're starting as of today?
It's a new year.
It's a new year. That's what I'm trying to get at. In other words,
Your absences for last year were last year.
okay. So in other
Okay.
words, everything that you're talking about really starts from today, our first meeting.
Well, let me clarify a little bit about how we keep the attendance.
Thank you, Ebenezer.
Yes,
Okay.
the attendance is measured in 1 year, but when we need to have that ready is when for the reappointment of the board members. And the board of president asks us for the attendance of the last year. So usually what we have in December when the board of president asks us for the attendance or performance of board members, what we send is the last year attendance from September 2021 to September 2022, or the year or the months that we are. Sometimes the period they ask for us in September. I'm sorry, in December, but nevertheless we send it from September 2021 to November or whatever day we have available, so they can see the whole picture of 1 year of attendance for board members. Remember, you need to be clear that absent is when you don't come and you don't show up. You were absent, and excuse absent or sick is when you call and you say, "Listen, I cannot make it because of this reason," and then we have the guideline to determine, okay, this is excused sick absent or excused absent because the person happened, and we have the guideline in our bylaws. Okay, now the requirement for the hybrid meeting is that the committee members, the people that are going to vote, committee members or general meeting, the members to make quorum have to be in person. This is half of the membership of the committee plus one. So if the committee have 7 members, so we need to have 4 members in person. 3 other members could be remote. And it doesn't count by excuse. Now, if you cannot be either present or in Zoom, then you will be absent. And when you are in the Zoom, you don't make quorum, but you can vote. That's the difference. In order to have quorum, people must be in the room. But this is when we are going hybrids or when we're required to be present. This is the requirement for hybrid meetings. Quorum in person. But the person in Zoom do not count for quorum, but yes, can vote. That's the rules that make a little different now for the hybrid meetings. But yes, we monitor one year attendance, and the attendance go for the board members that need to be reappointed. What's the name? Public members, we monitor the attendance, but you are not reappointed by the board of presidents, so you don't need to go to the scrutiny of attendance. But if you don't show up as a public member, often, the chair of the committee may recommend to the chair of the board to consider your participation in the board.
Right, and I just want to say too that public members.
This clarify
count towards
this
the quorum.
clarify your question. This clarify your question.
I took it down. I have to digest it, Ebenezer.
Yeah.
Well, if you need more information, call me at the office. I can explain to you and answer your question.
I'm a little slow, so I'll study it. No, thank you.
But just to reiterate too, that public members count towards the quorum. So, that's important information as well. Public
Yes.
members are, an important part of the whole committee.
Yes.
Ebenezer, I think I said.
But in a hybrid situation, it might have to be in person.
Right.
Hybrid has to be in person to count toward the quorum.
Right.
Exactly, yes.
I'm sorry, this
Okay.
is Maria. That's really going to limit the people who we have members of our committee, because most of the public members are really people who are working in agencies that cannot go out and take 4 hours of their time to attend our meetings. So I think we need to take a look at that for attendance sake.
Yeah, I was gonna say, Maria, when we originally went online, we were talking about how specifically this committee, the online format works so well. And especially because it's during the day when people are working, our attendance has been up, based on now that we're online. And also we're dealing with a population that's more concerned about COVID, that they're not going to want to come out. So I don't know if the city, this on the same time, Ebenezer can't say, oh, this committee can't, but I would think that, if we could, an exception be made for this committee would make sense to me, but I don't know if anyone can make that exception.
No, I think we need to stress the importance of the communication that we have with every agency that we have servicing the aging committee, the population, and we need to accommodate it, because that's the reason why our aging committee meets during the day, doesn't meet in the evening, to make sure that the people can attend more freely by Zoom or whatever, instead of going to the office or whatever place that we hold the meetings to. So I think and all the information that is coming from all the centers and things like that we distribute to this committee is extremely important. So I think that we need to focus on that.
I hear you. Richard?
Yeah, I wanted to just sort of add an amen and say, I think the real emphasis is on the fact that this is a daytime meeting, and that exemption should be sought for daytime meetings generally, even if we're the only one.
All right.
Oh.
I'm just making notes. Because, we'll be talking about that, I'm sure, at the executive committee meeting. Because it will impact all of the committees, I think, but ours more specifically, because as, people have pointed out, we have people joining us from different agencies because they can take an hour out of their day from work to attend the meeting, but if they have to travel to the board office, it's not happening because people have difficulty being away from their job for that length of time. The parking is an issue, you know. So, all right. Thank you all. Diane, is there anything that you would like to share with us as far as MJHS goes, or any other?
No, just that I asked for a data poll on Monday, and in terms of Isabella, as actually as of the 6th, when I asked for the data poll, there were no residents who are currently positive at Isabella. Obviously, we like the city experienced some bounce in the data during the summer. We had some more positives, but at the moment we have stabilized again, and there are no residents who are currently tested positive, and that we have been able to return to some of the volunteer and summer youth employee programs and hospice fellowship programs, things like that. So we are not able to fully welcome back the community and host community board meetings. That's not possible. But we are resuming support of the community in terms of nursing students, nursing rotations. And I think we're in a good position in terms of COVID right now.
Okay, you answered one of my questions. So in terms of opening up to the community for meetings, because that came up in our Waikoa meeting just prior to this meeting. So
yeah, so far still the case.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you for that.
Thank you.
I will also be contacting you, Diane, because I have another question for you from.
Okay, I have one
stems from Waikoa.
So go for it.
All right. So I'll be calling you.
Okay. I look forward to it.
Any other concerns, questions, announcements?
Here is Verna.
I'm sorry?
It's Verna. I just have a quick announcement when you get around to it.
Okay, go for it.
Okay, just to let folks know that New York City Council Speaker Adriana Adams and the council members have announced a $3.08 million allocation to DIFTA's community-based partners to repair and replacement of an estimated 44 hotshot vans for the city's home delivery meals program. The program would serve as millions of meals annually to the older adults who are homebound due to health and physical challenges. And also, this is a reminder for persons who would like to utilize, we're asking persons to utilize DIFTA's event outreach request form when asking for DIFTA's participation and in any of your community events like tabling and things of those nature. Mary, I will put the link in I'll send you the link on your email. It's also on DIFTA's page, but I'll just send it to you. Just a quick reference. Okay, thank you.
Okay, okay. James? You have your hand up?
Yeah, I have a question. I'm new, so forgive me for maybe it's a foolish question.
No. My teachers always said no question is a foolish question. Okay, and I believe that.
Yes, thank you. Shirley Saxton from Social Security had some very interesting and important information. How does the committee then, what is the mechanism to get that into the community at large? Because yes, it's great that we know that, but how do we inform the rest of our community about some of those warnings that you had?
Well, one way is that the minutes of the committees are accessible on the website for the community board. So people that are interested in knowing what's going on, people may see the agenda and then call them to get the log in to get the information.
I would not even know I was interested.
I'm sorry?
I think if I was not on this committee, I would not even know I was interested because I wouldn't know what subjects were being discussed. Something
Uh-huh.
like this is important of being scanned. I mean, I don't know if everybody is aware enough to go to the community board and look at the minutes.
Uh-huh.
I guess I wish there was some kind of platform that we can promote, you know, for senior citizens. And I'm not the person to do that because I'm not a very technical person, but just something to think about, I guess, is how do we reach the population at large, whether it's a Facebook page or something, I don't know, to say, hey, if you want information on, you know, different various topics like that are being discussed here. I don't know. That's just a thought I had. Thank you.
You know, certainly word of mouth is a good way too, and that is probably the most effective way. You know, we go out and we talk to our friends and colleagues, you know, about our experience with the board and the meetings and what's been being discussed. And, you know, that really gets the word out. Or other organizations that you're involved in, that sort of thing. Anybody have anything to add to that?
How about the senior centers?
Yeah. Right, because we have senior centers represented here as well. Okay, so, you know, they will take that information back to their clients as well as, you know, the people in the community. Richard? You're muted, Richard.
I think that might be a good discussion to take to the executive committee because board-wide, we don't have an outreach and information strategy at all. We talk about the website. We do a modest job of keeping the website up to date, but it really doesn't. I think the questions that James is asking is even bigger than it gets asked here. It's just, it's something the community board doesn't do terribly well. And it isn't for absence of trying. I want to make sure that doesn't get focused anywhere, any particular committee or anywhere else. It's just the way we do it.
Yeah. Good suggestion. I have that down. That I will bring that issue up at the executive meeting. And you come to that as well, so you can either, no?
Sue.
Okay. Dory, you had your hand up.
Yes, I just want to make the announcement that during the summer, ARC4 Washington actually moved to its new location on 116 West 181st Street between Audubon and Amsterdam. We still haven't done ribbon cutting because we're waiting for our last inspection for the elevator that's going to be our main entrance on Audubon. But everyone is welcome to pass by and come and see our new space. We are open Monday to Friday, 9 to 5, and all our services are back and running.
Can you just repeat the address?
516 West 181st. Basement.
And the entrance is not
It's
on
on,
181st.
as of right now, it's still on 181st because
Oh, okay.
the entrance on Audubon is, we're still waiting for inspection for that elevator.
Oh, okay. All righty.
What floor in the building are you on?
Basement.
Basement, okay.
Okay, Dorian, let's see, Richard and James. You have your hand up. You can undo that. Thank you. Okay. Anything else, anybody? All right, we've covered a lot, and guess what? It's early, 11:46. So I'd like to make a motion to adjourn this meeting. Do I have a second?
Second.
Thank you. All right. Our next meeting will be on October 6th, the first Monday of October at 10:30 a.m. And our meeting is, allotted to go, just for James' information, till 12 noon. We usually pretty much go that far. If anybody has any ideas for a presentation for the October meeting, please let me know. Okay. Thank you.
Thank
See
you,
you
Mary.
all
Have a
in-
nice day, everyone.
Thank you,
see
bye.
you all in October, if not before.
Thank you.